I am Dan Smeak.
And I'm Josh Martin.
And we're the owners of ACME Home Exteriors of Lansing, Michigan.
ACME's been around as a company since 1957. I bought the company in 2018 and ran it for a couple of years by myself.
I came on in 2019. I come from the home exteriors industry in the Lansing area. I've been in this industry for 20 years. We met through a distributor friend of ours, or one of our distributors introduced us, and then from there we started to kind of form a business relationship, and he offered me a partnership in his business, and so we've been doing that for about a year and a half now.
This was a Christmas present from our rep. We got a really good relationship with him. He has a guy that does these paintings for him, which is really cool. He put ACME Home Exteriors right on the truck, 1957, which is the year the company was originally started. Got the GAF Master Elite. It's cool for me because I actually use a wood ladder. So it's near and dear to my heart. And then Dan, my partner, loves deer hunting, so having a deer in there is just perfect. When I met Dan, I wasn't necessarily looking actively for a partner in this business, but it is a difficult business to be in and manage by yourself. And when his friend Dave connected us, his idea is that he wanted to be out on his own, but didn't want to do it on his own. And you know, personality-wise, we match up really well. And so I was like, yeah, that would be a nice fit for me to have a business partner that I can relate with. Doing our proposals, doing our work orders, we have our company meetings here. We keep all of our samples and signs for when we're out on the road, but just try to keep that to a minimum so we can be out there with the customers, with our guys.
Right after high school, I needed a job. Called up a builder that I knew, and he said no. And one of his son actually gave me a call and said, "Hey, do you want to come roof?" And I started roofing. You know, once we had multiple crews, eventually I couldn't be on the roof anymore because I needed to manage multiple crews. And then I started selling and found a passion for it. Enjoyed doing it. Got knowledgeable and good at the installation process.
I grew up in a family business. I started working in my grandpa's warehouse when I was about 11, just sweeping up and learning how to pull orders and put stuff away. He paid me like $4 an hour back then. I worked part-time. Then at the end of the summer, I was like, oh my gosh, I made like $1,000. So when I was 12, I was going every day because I was gonna be making that money. Started taking on more responsibility, got raises, and by the time I was 18, they just sent me out on jobs, started running jobs, made it, you know, to where I got in the office, started doing bids and project management. And really how I got into roofing is I was looking for a way to go out on my own. ACME was for sale. So I talked to the business owner, put a deal together and bought them out. So that's how I ended up in the roofing industry.
This is just a snapshot of our business. And what I'm trying to do is I want all my team to be able to see what's going on, who's got what. We got our goals, we got our financial goals. So when a job comes in and gets sold, that salesman is gonna come, he's gonna put a tag. So each salesman has their own color little ticket. If you see your fellow salesman has more up here than the other guy, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go bust your butt, try to get some more out there. I do all forms of the exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, decks. Roofing I always found to be the easiest to do. I think it's because that's what I grew up doing, so I knew the product really well. I know the guys in the industry, and us roofers are a little bit crazy, and I love it. I do find the roofing to be a pretty easy business. It definitely has its ups and downs because you don't know, you know, tomorrow the roofing could dry up. It might not rain for 2 months and you might not get any leads because if no roofs are leaking, maybe nobody's thinking about it. So those are definitely big challenges, is juggling that, making sure you keep everybody busy, and battling the weather and things like that. But as far as the business aspect,
I disagree with Dan a little bit on how difficult the roofing industry is. I think that anytime you're taking 5,000 pounds of shingles off somebody's roof, trying to clean it up and put 5,000 pounds back on, I mean, we just know that you run into issues all the time, and it's stressful and it's hard to manage, and the guys are getting beat up because that's a lot of work for them, and you know, tempers flare, and you just have a lot of challenges to work through.
So what we have here, it's an Art-Loc shingle. In Lansing, Michigan, these have been around a long time, almost 100 years. What you got down here is a locking tab that slides in between each shingle to help with that uplift. And yeah, these are pretty solid shingles.
Can you lift it up?
So pops out of there. And they'll just keep going that way, all the way down the line.
Very cool.
My perspective on the Lansing market is it's a very closed market. I've worked as a contractor mostly outside of Lansing, but in the Detroit and Ann Arbor area. And all the contractors work for contractors in this area. It's very close-knit community. So once you're in, but when you're on the outside, you don't get this work.
we definitely have a very old center. Lansing's been around for a long time, and we're about an hour from the larger metropolitan areas. So we are kind of secluded because there's miles of farmland between us and them. It's a nice, like he said, it is very close knit, but it's also growing and sprawling. So you have the old in the center, and then it spreads out to newer homes, and you have the subdivisions. And our favorite place to be is actually just on the outskirts, where you have 20-year-old to 30-year-old homes.
We do also feel that GAF does a good job of really pushing the warranties, especially the upgraded warranties, that get better and better for the industry. We feel confident because they're one of the bigger companies in the world that they're going to back those warranties, which is something that we want to have for our clients. So if we're selling somebody a premium warranty, we want to feel like that manufacturer is going to back that warranty down the road.
So one of the big complaints we had was that this product was slippery when we installed it, especially when it started getting warmed up. The granules would slide off of it. So it feels almost like a skateboard, which is actually what you want to feel. I would say this might be a thumbs up. The real test is going to be when the sun hits it, what's it going to do? But a big improvement over their last version of it. When we would step on this would just come up and we would come right off of it.
For siding, our go-to brand is CertainTeed. In fact, a lot of CertainTeed is actually made just south of us in a city called Jackson. So it's really nice to have that local factory, supplying some of our product. We get into James Hardie. We do a lot of cedar. We have a lot of neighborhoods that are all wood siding, so we do a lot of cedar repairs. One of the challenges with the product that we're using, the cedar siding product that we're using, is we have to face nail that product for it to be stable and stay on the house correctly. Not always the most sightly, but with a good painter, we can usually hide that. We use a stainless steel nail so you don't get streaks, and it will never rust out on you. We're using this product today because we're not doing the whole house and we're matching what they currently have. Otherwise, we may consider a synthetic product or something along those lines, which can last longer and potentially look even nicer. Especially with the price of cedar and wood today, synthetics are often a really good choice. One of our favorite things to do is build decks. We build wood, just straight up wood decks, womanized lumber, cedar. But one of our favorites is Trex, and we are a Trex Pro contractor of the area.
We ended up replacing a lower section of the roof over here. Ended up getting a deck out of that, and the neighbors actually started talking, and yeah, we're here in Okemos, Michigan, and we just finished up the deck over here. One of the decks that we had just finished up, one of the lucky clients that got in before the massive increase of today's lumber prices. One of the concerns was the grill taking up space on the deck, so we were able to kind of create a cubby hole for it to get it out of the way and really maximize the space that you have. The exterior on the outside here to make sure that we're never exposing cut ends. So you've got miters in each corner, making sure that it is a very clean finished product. The support beam previously, and we see on decks quite often, you take the two, slap them to the outside, and I've seen them as minimal as just some gun nails holding these up.
It's important that you do a good job, or you're there and you stand behind your work. It's something I strive for every day. Not perfect, make mistakes, but we will get back out there and take care of anything that comes up. And I've been doing it for 20 years and I plan on doing it another 20 years. So I'm not going anywhere. I live in this area and this is my home, my community.